Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. I wanted to come at you today with another update on Measure 114 in Oregon. A lot of people have been asking about this and where it's going right now and where it stands as far as when is it going to go into effect. Well, right now, I am very happy to say that Measure 114 is taking a beating in the courts. If you remember, a federal judge put a 30-day stay on the permit requirement where you have to go get permission to exercise your Second Amendment rights. They put a 30-day stay on that until the government could get something in place to actually do the permits. You know, heaven forbid they actually set up the system that they just passed into law. But they put a 30-day stay on it. But then in state court, a judge not only put a stay on the permit process, but on pretty much the rest of the law. The whole law is pretty much on hold right now, and the judge that is presiding over the state case said that it's going to be on hold until the state can show that the system to do the permits is in place and functioning as it should, which is going to take months if it could ever be done. Because right now there's no money for it. There's no manpower for it. There's no legislation passed that would provide the money or the manpower to do it. Or even a system that they could use to do it with. So it's going to be a long time before they could even show that. And there's a pretty good chance it's going to be declared unconstitutional in the federal courts before that even happens. As far as the mag ban, etc., he said that that's going to be stayed until the state can prove in court that the mag bans are not unconstitutional. And he himself said that based on the Oregon Constitution, not the federal Constitution, since he's in state court, that he sees this as clearly unconstitutional. He said something that all of us have known for a very long time. And he said that the idea that restricting magazine capacity saves lives is at best speculative. There's absolutely no real-world proof of that. And it would be hard to provide any real-world proof of that. So it's probably going to be unconstitutional because you can't suspend someone's rights or limit someone's rights based on a positive for, public safety that is speculative at best. That's not the measure we use. So even without Bruin being a factor in the case here, this is being unconstitutional. Being labeled as unconstitutional pretty much from the get-go. As far as, like I said, the system being concerned, that if they ever get that in place, I'll be surprised. If they are able to prove in court that the idea that magazine restriction saves lives is not just speculative, I'll eat my hat because it is just speculative. The judge is absolutely right. So as of right now, Measure 114, that was passed with 50.7% of the vote, with not even anywhere near everybody voting. High population city centers had higher voting turnout than rural areas, of course. So if it had been even turnout, this thing would have lost by a landslide. So it's the will of a minority trying to be forced on the majority, even though the will of the minority is unconstitutional. And hopefully it will fall as it deserves to. But right now, it's definitely on that path to failing completely. Now, I know a lot of people think that, well, is this going to be, there's two judges doing different rulings here, so how are they going to reconcile with each other? Well, the federal judge, her ruling is actually secondary to the state judge. Since it's a state issue, the state judge ruling on the state constitution takes precedent on how the law can go in effect. So right now, what the federal judge said doesn't matter. It's just what the state judge said. Now, eventually, this will probably get to the state Supreme Court, which could take years. So a lot of people locally are saying this won't even be settled for years. And by then, it'll probably be settled on a federal level. And under Bruin right now, I think most of the experts I was looking at said it had probably a single-digit percentage chance of being found constitutional. And these are pretty leftist scholars in Oregon that are saying, yeah, this is just really bad. It's probably not ever going to be able to take effect now. Because like I said, it's going to be in state courts for probably months, if not years. And in that time, the Bruin decision is going to factor in on a federal level and it's going to make the whole state case moot. But until then, the state case takes precedent. So there are lawsuits going in federal court, state court, all of them saying different things, but all of them seeking the same remedy in the end to abolish this law. So as of right now, as I said all along, it's not going into effect. And it's probably going to fall. So if you're someone right now worried about, oh, when's it going to go into effect? You got a lot of time to worry or wait, because it isn't going to be anytime soon. Like I said, the state judge has said this is not going into effect until you can, one, show that you have an operational system that works like it's supposed to, which is not likely to happen, and two, that you can actually prove in court that magazine restrictions save a substantial number of lives, enough lives that it makes it worth restricting someone's rights. So, Measure 114, not doing well, like I think most of us forecasted. Now, there were some people that are like, oh, it's the end of the world, and the lefties are winning, and you better go buy everything, and here's a discount code. But no, right now, like I said, it is failing in the courts. The laws are working, and eventually Bruin is going to have a big effect on this in the federal courts. But right now, it is stalled dead in the state courts. All right, everybody, before I go, I want to remind everyone that we are doing our live chats, our countdown to 1,000 consecutive days of live chats. Tonight is episode 999. So tomorrow is episode 1,000. We hit 1,000 consecutive days of live chats. We'll be giving away some pretty shiny stickers that I got from Aries Graphic during the night. They are numbered from 0 to 24. So I think that means there's 25 of them. They're like a foil sticker we'll be giving away. It says 1,000 chats, blah, blah, blah on it. You'll see them when I show them in the chat. And I'll try to put a picture of them up here. But come on over to the chats. Not just for the special 1,000th episode, but just come on over anytime you want. It's open to everybody when it's airing live. Now, if you want to watch it later, you do have to go over to Patreon and watch it, because I put them as unlisted just for safety's sake. But they're open to everybody. Come on over. You'd be surprised at the camaraderie. People get to know each other. You get to have friends in the gun community that you can talk to whenever online. People that have common interests, that share a similar mindset to you when you may not have many of those around you in real life. So come on over to the live chats, enjoy the fun and the conversation. We try not to take things too seriously. We cover serious topics, but we always try to keep a level head about ourselves and not take ourselves too seriously. So come on in, like I said, join the community, have some fun. I hope to see you there. And with that being said, I am out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you for coming. I do appreciate it. And I hope to see you again on Monday. Until then, I want to remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I see you again.